Welcome. We are initiating ourselves to be parallel with Vedic systems. First feature of the Vedic systems is that it mathematizes the organization of knowledge. Gita, Ganit Kshetra as well is a mathematized Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is a unified discipline of knowledge. This unified discipline of knowledge, Vedas, is availing single alphabet. Devnagri alphabet is the alphabet availed by Vedic systems for organization of Vedic knowledge as a single integrated knowledge system of the order of the solar universe itself. The first lesson has been about the conversion of letters alphabet into numbers alphabet. Vedic systems avail single alphabet, namely the Devnagari alphabet, but this single alphabet is of a compactified format. Single alphabet but of integrated formats is the unique feature. As per this feature, the letters alphabet is unified with other formats like the numbers, geometric formats, and all that. Today, we are at lesson 2. Lesson 1 has focused upon conversion for the letters alphabet into numbers alphabet. Today, in continuity, as second step, we are focusing upon a transition from numbers alphabet to Sathapatya geometric formats alphabet. The letters alphabet is a setup of 50 letters grouped, classified as 5 distinct groups, classes. The first group is of 9 vowels. The second group is of 33 consonants. This second group itself is a setup of 3 subgroups: Varga consonants 25, Anthastha letters, quadruple letters, and Ushmana letters, another set of quadruple letters. The fifth class group is of 8 Yama letters. Transition from numbers alphabet to Sathapatya geometric formats is to be chased sequentially parallel with classification groups of the letters alphabet. Therefore, today in this lesson 2, we will be taking up the aspect of transition from numbers alphabet to Sathapatya alphabet of geometric formats in respect of 9 vowels. 9 vowels constitute first group, first class of letters of Devnagari alphabet. Therefore, this lesson essentially is all about transition from the numbers alphabet in respect of these 9 vowels into Sathapatya alphabet of geometric formats in respect of these 9 letters, these 9 vowels. These 9 vowels as letters alphabet are depicted in the first row of the table on the computer screen. The second row is depicting the parallel numbers values, the placement values, the transcendental code values as these stand designated ultimately. Therefore, the conversion for nine vowels as letters to numbers is depicted is as row second. First row depicts the script form of the nine letters, nine vowels. The second row tabulates nine values 1 to 9 of these letters. Today, in continuity, a step ahead, we are going to have a transition from the numbers to the dimensional bodies, to the geometries, to the Sathapatya. Row 3 is tabulating the transition. Transition for first letter O as first vowel to its numbers alphabet, its placement value, its transcendental code value 1. And in continuity, a step ahead, there is a reach, there is a transition from number value 1 to 1 space. Likewise, with respect to the second vowel, there will be transition from number value 2 to 2 space, and in a sequence, ninth vowel will have a transition from its value 9 to 9 space. One may have a pause here and pose to oneself whether this transition is having any scriptural sanction, whether it is as per the acceptance of the Vedic knowledge, Vedic systems, Vedic scriptures, or Vedas. For it, we shall be visiting the relevant references of the text of Srimad Bhagavad Gita itself. We are initiating ourselves to be parallel with Gita Ganit Kshetra as organization of knowledge. The organization of knowledge as text of Gita is the prime focused attention aspect before us. Therefore, with respect to such like transitional steps, we will first have an exploration for the references from within the text of Gita itself. Here, the pointed reference may be taken as Shloka 3 of chapter 3 and Shlokas 4th and 5th of chapter 5. Soon we will be touching up this aspect, but for the present, at this phase and stage, we shall take it that the transition from numbers alphabet to geometry, to geometric formats, to Sathapatya in respect of these nine letters, these nine vowels as first group class of Devnagri alphabet is that one space is a transition for number value 1. The transition from 1 to 1 space, transition from 2 to 2 space, and like that, transition from 9 to 9 space is the transition. This transition as a complete step in itself be taken as it is. The query, the urge to know further about this transition in itself is the aspect which also will be touched by us, which also will be answered by us, but after some more repeated visits to this very transition. Therefore, sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with Vedic systems have to initiate themselves with respect to the single alphabet, Devnagri alphabet, as to how this alphabet is unfolding its compactified forms. Vedic knowledge is a single integrated discipline of whole range of knowledge. The entire knowledge parallel with the entire existence phenomenon, may it be of living or of non-living beings, the knowledge domain being parallel with our universe, our solar universe, and even beyond. Therefore, the aspect to be glimpsed and to be imbibed formally at this initial stage is that the artifices of numbers 1 to 9 and the dimensional orders of the dimensional spaces 1 to 9 run parallel to each other. These are the manifested forms which complement and supplement each other. And in one word, it can be said that artifice of number 1 and dimensional order of one space are parallel to each other. Numbers and the dimensional bodies are the distinct pair of mathematical entities. However, Vedic system has its success in comprehending and exploiting this unison between this distinct pair of mathematical entities, artifices of numbers and dimensional orders of the dimensional spaces run parallel to each other. Not only that, we will be soon learning that these two distinct generic mathematical entities are making two distinct processing steps systems, but at the same time these are complementing and supplementing each other while these are progressing sequentially parallel with each other. It is in this background that at this very stage we have to permit our mind to formally glimpse and imbibe as that 9 letters, namely these 9 vowels and their placement values, transcendental code values, numbers, alphabet conversion as numbers 1 to 9 takes us further for parallel transition to geometric formats of 1 space to 9 space. The artifices of numbers 1 to 9 and dimensional orders of 1 space to 9 space run parallel to each other. These have sequential progression of same mathematical rule, one more than before. This pair of distinct generic mathematical entities, namely artifices of numbers and dimensional orders of dimensional spaces, or in other words, numbers and geometric bodies, are the pair of mathematical entities which have been availed and have been unified, making a single integrated mathematical system. The spaces are having their representative regular bodies as well. In the fourth row is depicted, is mentioned, is tabulated, is made entries as of one space body, two space body, three space body, four space body, and like that, nine space body. So this way, during this transition from the numbers alphabet to Sathapatya geometric formats alphabet, we are having sequential reach for the first vowel to its value 1 to parallel one space of a linear dimensional order, and then to its representative regular body interval line. Like that, up till ninth letter, ninth vowel for its value 9, for its parallel nine space body is a reach of this transition lesson. From lesson 1 to lesson 2, we will be having a reach for transition from numbers to the geometric bodies. To facilitate the working processes, we will be having symbols for the bodies. As we are having script form symbols for the numbers values, so we are also having the geometric, figurative, symbolic expressions for the geometric entities as well. Therefore, at this very stage, one shall formally acquaint oneself with the script form symbolic expressions for the numbers values 1 to 9 as depicted, tabulated in row 2, the symbolic, figurative, symbolic expression for the geometric bodies as depicted in column 6, column 5th is also to be formally glimpsed, formally gripped, formally imbibed, and it shall have a proper imprint in one's mind, because these symbols will represent fully their respective mathematical entities. Numbers values 1 to 9 in their script forms will represent the complete mathematical domains of these values themselves. Likewise, the symbolic, figurative, symbolic expressions for the geometric bodies as well will be taken as full expression for their respective mathematical entities as the representative regular bodies of their respective spaces. One may have a pause here and take note that as far as the eighth vowel and ninth vowel are concerned, with respect to them, for the present, we are not giving any figurative, symbolic, geometric formatted symbolic representations. We will be coming to this aspect subsequently, and for the present, it be taken that we are settling symbolic, figurative expressions for one space to seven space bodies. The bodies and spaces are being given the same symbolic expressions. So it is only with respect to the reference and the context that we will be deciphering whether these figures are representing the spaces or the space bodies, and likewise many other aspects will follow subsequently. Therefore, for the present, this lesson 2 as is focusing upon a transition from numbers alphabet to Sathapatya alphabet of geometric forms. The table as it is shall be visited time and again for firm, complete grip and its imprint in one's mind. Once we will be fully acquainted with these symbolic expressions for these mathematical entities, then the subsequent mathematics, which will be availing these symbolic expressions for these mathematical entities, will have a facilitated feature. The aspect with respect to this as to why the transition is being accepted from 1 to 1 space, 2 to 2 space, 9 to 9 space. For it, the scriptural reference is being pointed here, and it is Shloka 3 of chapter 3 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One may have a pause here and take note that Gita is a sense of Vedanta Trey. Gita is the essence of Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Gita. Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, and Gita are designated as Vedanta Trey. Therefore, Vedant means the essence, the end values of Vedas. Therefore, Vedas as Samhitas have their end value as Upanishads. Upanishads are having end essence value as Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra as its end essence value is the Gita. Therefore, this reference from the text of Gita will ultimately is going to be the end reference value of the Vedas themselves. Therefore, the Sadkhas shall accept as that the source, the scriptural source for transition from numbers alphabet to dimensional orders, dimensional bodies, dimensional spaces is going to be as is preserved and made lively in Shloka 3 of chapter 3 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The text of Shloka 3 of chapter 3 of Gita in simple English rendering will be as that this world, Loka, is of twofold established processing systems, Dvidha Nishtha, namely Sankhya Nishtha for knowledge, Gyan Yogain Sankhyanam, and Yoga Nishtha for the Karma Yogain Yoganam. The system is having a pair of processing systems. Established processing systems means settled processing systems, means finally accepted processing systems. These are Sankhya Nishtha and Yoga Nishtha. Sankhya Nishtha is for knowledge and Yoga Nishtha is for actions. Sankhya Nishtha is for pure values and Yoga Nishtha is for applied values. Sankhya is numbers and yoga is geometric transition steps. So Sankhya Nishtha accepts the existence of geometric formats and avails the artifices of numbers. On the other hand, Yoga Nishtha presumes the existence of the Sankhya Nishtha and avails the dimensional frames, dimensional formats of dimensional spaces. Therefore, the source for transition from numbers alphabet to Sathapatya geometric form its alphabet is Shloka 3 of chapter 3 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to be parallel with these values. Once one will be absorbing these values, then one shall be transiting from the numbers alphabet to the Sthapatya alphabet. This source is having further manifested features, and these are as shlokas 4 and 5 of chapter 5 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The simple English rendering for these shlokas are: Shloka 4 may be translated as that Sankhya and Yoga Nishtha are divergent for innocent and not for perfect intelligence. Same is the attainment for those who accept both of unified state features. Further, the attainment domain of Sankhya Nishtha is of same values as is of a Yoga Nishtha. Those who glimpse this common reach of attainment domain of Sankhya Nishtha and Yoga Nishtha, they glimpse the transcendental unity. One shall sit comfortably, one shall visit these values, one shall absorb these values, one shall imbibe these values, one shall permit the transcending mind to be parallel with these values, and one shall perfect one's intelligence with these values. In this background, we may have the following blissful exercise. The first row is depicting the vowels, the letters alphabet format for the 9 vowels. Second row is depicting the numbers values. Now, in the third row, as far as the first vowel number value 1 is concerned, the transition to one space is depicted in terms of its body as interval. In respect of the second vowel of value 2, of transition of 2 space, its body symbolic form square is depicted. The rest columns are blank. We have to fill it. It is a blissful exercise. One shall sit comfortably. One shall glimpse and imbibe the lesson 2 values and perfect one's intelligence. Thank you very much.